Week 2 continues forward here from Utopia Coliseum as a Foundation League gets set to take center stage here on the MLE Network. Welcome back to Minor League Esports presented by APM Music. I am Inanimate J, and I could not be more excited to bring you this next match. The Foundation League Spartans up against the Jets, the Forge Division, the center of hostilities here in the league standings. With me, Thunderballs on my right, and we saw a good one to start this one off, Thunderballs. A good Master League matchup between the Demo and the Bulls, but now we get to see the other side of the great MLE ecosystem, the Foundation League players, and looking forward, I think, for what chat is probably looking for, the debut of Gibby on an MLE stage.
A much anticipated debut, I have no doubt, as you mentioned, and it's going to be an exciting one. I think Foundation League is, of all the leagues that you will see play in this one, full of the most surprises and unexpected magic moments that will happen a lot of the time. I think that's why a lot of people keep coming back and checking it out for MLE regardless of their level of play. I'm excited to see how this match pans out as we get into this probably pretty hotly contested affair between these two.
Both of these teams hungry for a win. The Spartans looking to overturn an 0-5 in their first week. The Jets 2-3 looking to find themselves a way through, and it'll be an early lead for the Jets as Captain Killas right off the kickoff clean into the open net.
Not much to say about this one. Captain Killas just squarely beats Gibby to the ball. Gibby maybe trying to read early, going for a delayed kickoff and trying to read where the ball was going to head, but just couldn't quite grab it. And instead that heads straight goalward and an early lead, only a second off the clock when that one went in.
The thing I love about Foundation League is that this is really where the roots of this community kind of lay. Originally, the community for players back in the Season 2 and 3 ranked days of Challenger, Elite, and below, which pretty much equates to around the bell curve of ranked where Diamond 1 sits nowadays. And you really get to see the early stages of development for some of these players, and MLE is a great environment for that. I think, Thunderballs, you and I would both agree, where players get in, they get exposed to a lot of ability to learn from other people in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, if we talk about MLE being focused on improvement, it would be a disservice to the Rocket League community not to have Foundation League present as we do have the presence for the top leagues as well. And we've seen so many fantastic performances and players shining even at this level of play, and especially as you get down into the season and see the players really settle in chemistry and a competitive environment that they, until this point, might not have been familiar with. We talked about a debut here for Gibby in particular, and it's a lot of new performances. Nate Dogg putting a shot on net here as we join the action. The Jets haven't been able to find anything since, as the Spartans have been pushing back here.
The chemistry, I think, settling in for the Spartans. They had a couple of chances in front of their own net to get a good clear going, but kind of bumped into one another. And I have to say, Gibby not performing like I expected out of a person with 3 salary there. I'm seeing half flips. I'm seeing pretty good reads on pinches. The only thing that I think is really lacking is awareness, but that is a goal on the MLA debut for Gibby. It floats in for the Spartans just inside the Jets post.
What a touch here. Great challenge for Nate Dogg to get that ball to kick back out in front. And Gibby, recognizing that he was stopped going for a direct on shot, instead looked for a sharp angle and found it. What a great tying goal here for the Spartans.
Really was well worked as well. There was an early storm, I think, for the Jets brewing against the Spartans net, and the Spartans able to hold tight. They don't do so on this one. Meerkat bounces one in close on the post here as both Spartans players just kind of go past that one.
Clearly the storm not entirely passed here as the Jets still looking for more offense, capitalizing on some missed touches there in the back end from the Spartans team, and they're going to take the lead back that they found so early in this game at the beginning.
Bronze Age technology against modern era stuff here, as you'd expect a Jet to outperform a Spartan, but the Spartans not unfamiliar with Pyrrhic type victories here as Captain Killas from the middle of the field picks up one and puts the Jets up by 2.
A little bit lost were the Spartans here on the defensive rotation. Gibby turning and looking for a play to go as a pass, but instead, Captain Killas just got around it and put a shot on net instead. Took the defender by surprise and opened the goal lead up to 2.
Defense first might be the way for the Spartans to go here. Is down by 2. They kind of have to let the Jets, I think, put balls towards their net and find opportunities. Captain Killas frozen in time, and Nate Dogg cuts the lead to 1.
Smart there to recognize the situation on the field and just jumping on it immediately. Captain Kill is looking a little bit lost, not sure what the issue may have been there, but regardless, Nate Dogg's going to capitalize upon that. And once again, a pretty close game here with the Jets just narrowly on top.
Turned the wrong way, I think. Captain Kill is maybe not comfortable with the half flip, although Meerkat on a good bouncing play out of the corner catches Gibby looking for it, and it's again a 2-goal game.
What a pace of goal scoring we've got going in this game so far. Just over 2 minutes played, 6 goals on the board, and it shows no signs of slowing down really on either end. The Jets up by 2, but I think this could swing the other way just as easily if the Spartans can get their rotations together.
I think if the Spartans can just get the ball through midfield, there seems to be a tendency by the Jets team to fall back along that defensive line, and it really does open up shooting potential for the Spartans. As Captain Kill is 2 or 3 on chances now for the Spartans, just falling back to the goal line, giving up every spot of the net to let the Spartans shoot at. So if they can get control here, might be opportunities, but that demo will open things up for the Jets as Nate Dogg will respawn in the corner. Gibby out to pressure Meerkat, will let Nate Dogg get that one clear. Captain Killer's off the roof looking for a goal. It'll find it as Gibby doesn't get the read, and it's a 5-2 game.
Big trouble there, especially in Foundation League when you see a ball being played up high. Having to read a ceiling bounce is not an enviable position for any Rocket League player, period. And at this level, really tough to position correctly with limited mechanical, I guess, compensation that you have. You really got to be perfect on positioning, and the Spartans just not in the right spot there to read that shot.
Big trouble in Little Sparta to start things off here as the Jets out to a 3-goal lead with just under half this match left to play here. Still in the Spartans' end as Captain Kill is looking for a play out of the corner. Won't find it, grabs the boost and leaves the Spartans still trying to find a way out here. Nate Dogg's frozen here. Meerkat looking for a bounce shot. Good read. Gibby on the breakaway. Has the angle. Can he get the shot? Will get a couple of bounces and just lets Meerkat get a read on that to clear it away. Big chance for the Spartans to cut the lead down with time.
Gibby getting flashy on the dribble play there, tried to turn that player inside out, and instead Captain Killis back the other way with a very strong challenge on the ball. Nate Dogg just left helpless here as Killis came bearing down upon him and sent that goal straight through the car and right into the net for 6. The Jets really tallying up a bunch of goals here as we head down the stretch of this game.
So I think an opportunity for Gibby to shoot it on the run back just before there was an opportunity, I think, for Meerkat to get that save lined up. Just cut it inside, put it off the nose of the Octane, kind of cross body of the defender and force them to really get a reactionary flip to try and tip it away. And unfortunately, the dribble attempt not working out for the Spartans in this one. As Meerkat trying to recover on this one. Gibby will pressure, gets a bump. It's loose for Nate Dogg. Low boost still for Meerkat. Will only get a 50 out. And Captain Kill is spending all the boost in the tank to launch that back into the Spartans' end. Missed by Gibby. Leaves it for Meerkat. Saved by Nate Dogg. Tips it off the bar. Keeps this one at least within reach. But 60 seconds to go. The Spartans trying to get this one out. Still in their own end. Gibby can't get the touch. It's for Meerkat. Up over top of Nate Dogg. But a good save. Tips that one away.
Spartans putting up quite a wall here. The really great plays by Nate Dogg, a couple of them, and in the middle a follow-up play by Gibby on the rebound shot that came in from the Jets as well. Big trouble here for the Jets. Nate Dogg, given all the time in the world, picked the perfect spot and gave the Spartans 3 goals to get them a little bit closer to making this game a close affair.
A little bit uncontested by Meerkat. Just spent a lot of boost to get up to that ball. It was slow moving, tough to read at this level of play as you don't see those as often, or you don't get enough practice with them to really get that effective touch on the aerial. And the Spartans, credit to them, they stuck with that play. They saw the opportunity, they take it and convert it. And with 30 to go here, 3 goals, not unheard of in Rocket League, but having to play from the defensive end, we're going to need to see the Spartans get a quick one. As it's long by Nate Dogg. Meerkat again on that slow aerial touch. Gibby looking predatory there. Gets the interception. Killas will clear it away for the Jets, but right into the waiting arms of Nate Dogg. First time shot down for Meerkat. It's tipped away. Up for the second touch is Meerkat, but this will take just enough time off the clock that we can say it. The Jets will take game 1 here against the Spartans roster. A bunch of quick goals in the middle stanza of this one will see them through to a 1-0 lead.
Well, you know, I'm going to dodge the pun potential here as much as I can, but I really feel as though the major difference between these two teams that had the Spartans look most uncomfortable was the Jets' presence in the air. They seem to have that ability versus what the Spartans are doing to control the play when it's up top. And I think that in most scenarios was what made the Spartans second guess themselves, not be positioned quite the right way. So the Spartans have got to find a way here of bringing the game down to ground level to a spot where they're more comfortable and not let the Jets run away into the stratosphere with it.
I think the biggest thing that is going to be helping the Spartans' favor here is just making sure that both Gibby and Nate Dogg kind of have an understanding. Is just watching some of these highlights on the scoreboard here as we just wait for the next lobby to fire, that you just saw a couple of times where the Spartans were kind of doing circles around one another in their own defensive corner, letting the Jets get possession back and cycle it around, almost like a hockey team really looking for that one shooting opportunity that was inevitable to come through. When the Spartans got the Jets in transition, that was where they had the most success. When the Jets had to spend their boost going backwards, there was opportunities for them to score, and that's really where we saw the Spartans' strength. So weather the storm, keep the clean sheet going, and then catch the Jets in transition, I think, is a big reason for the Spartans to win game 2 if they can get there.
Yeah, you nailed it. Sounds like the name of the game here is counterattack for the Spartans if they can put those kinds of plays together. It's not going to come from mechanical wizardry or, give and go passing plays back and forth. They might be capable of a couple plays here and there, but the bulk of it is going to come from catching the Jets overextending, pushing back the other way.
Exactly. They need to catch the Jets at their most vulnerable, which is after a missed chance that finally gets saved while they're trying to find their way back and boost. We saw that chance, I think, by Gibby on the 1v1 against, I believe it was Meerkat, just trying to get that last touch that fools the defender, which is possible at this level of play. There's a lot of straightforwardness that is in players at this level. It's really just see ball, hit ball. Try to challenge that one, and I think if you can get that touch just a little bit faster, if you can get that consistency that you really need to find, I think, to find success, then the Spartans will have that advantage over the Jets.
Yeah, I think that's really the one thing that they need to focus on. You can't overcomplicate things, especially at this level of play. There's a lot to manage on the field, and it can be overwhelming at times when you're faced with a pretty challenging team here in the Jets. But you just got to pick some points of simplicity, little changes that you can make, and specific things, maybe just one a game that you want to work on and try to adjust, and just build on those little changes rather than trying to do everything at once. And we saw the Spartans with some attacking opportunities and goals in that game. It's not going to take a gargantuan effort here, just a little change here and there to test and experiment and see what they can do. And Nate Dogg experimenting with a major powerful shot, putting that bottom right corner.
Well, give credit to Gibby here. Gets in front of Meerkat, puts Meerkat in a really tough spot, and the rotation by Captain Kill is just a little bit too late to get around that one as the Spartans get a good interception at midfield. They start game 2 off a lot better than game 1. It's a quick goal this time in favor of the team in yellow. It's already back in their end after a big face-off win by the Jets. Nate Dogg struggling to get this under control. Didn't get the boost in the corner as well. Gibby in a tough spot. Meerkat off the post looking for it. Second chance won't get there. Gibby keeps it clean and another touch to keep this one away from the Jets. Meerkat, third time's a charm, and it's 1-1.
Felt like it was only a matter of time there. Nate Dogg had a chance at it, but kicked it into reverse and drove up the slightest angle on the post there. Just didn't have full car control, and it opened the door for Meerkat to plug that one home and level the game with 30 seconds played.
I think when you're the second player coming across goal there, you can take that opportunity to double commit, to just throw yourself at that ball in the interest of getting it cleared. I think Nate Dogg deferring a little bit, but that won't matter. Big time shot out of the corner, and the Spartans back up by 1.
Oh, yikes. That's a breakdown in communication heading back to the goal line for the player who was retreating there. I'm trying to see which player it was exactly that got wrapped up. I think it was Meerkat retreating towards the net, and the player waiting on the goal line just helpless as they had their teammate come back and bump them out of a defensive chance. And Spartans, nice placement there on the shot to give themselves a lead once again.
Good read by Gibby early in this one to keep this away from danger for the Spartans defensively. Still in their end, though, as Gibby trying to set up a big clear will get intercepted by Killas. It's back, though, into the Jets' end. Meerkat, first touch, looking like it might catch Gibby off guard. Nate Dogg also coming out to that one, but Meerkat won't find the follow-up touch, and the Spartans get this one as far as to upper third. Nate Dogg looking for the air dribble, won't get the launch properly, held in by Captain Killas, but Gibby should be there to collect possession for the Spartans. Low boost for Gibby here, and I think this might be a talking point, Thunderballs, is Gibby has had a couple of chances here to get some really big plays, but the boost management at this level of play sometimes the thing that lets you down the most.
It is those small differences, things like boost management, recovery, and a few other things that are sometimes intangibles. They're not immediately obvious on the field as things that players should be improving. And they're also things that you don't really necessarily have a training pack for. Excuse me. It comes from game experience more than anything. So there's not a lot of substitutes for just time put into the game. And with Gibby being a relatively low salary here, it's something that they're having to learn on the fly, doing a somewhat admirable job. But you're right that there have been a few situations where they've been caught off guard by the Jets just doing a better job in general of that.
On paper, this one, a one-sided affair in terms of salary, is both the Jets players in the middle to high platinum, low diamond range, whereas you're looking at a high platinum player with someone that's bronze 3, silver 1 kind of range. So I would say that on the balance of play so far, Gibby hasn't looked terribly out of place, but unfortunately, it's just not quite enough sometimes, as the Jets will find one on the doorstep here. Meerkat will tie it up and make it 2-2.
Gibby just slightly out of place there, as you mentioned, and it's close there on the chance, looking for a diving save across the goal line, but not quite there. And once again, we've got a tied game right about at the halfway mark. Still could go either way if the Spartans can keep this game grounded and keep their plan rolling here, but the Jets seem to be gaining a little bit of momentum with each passing play here. That could spell trouble for the team in orangey, yellow-ish kind of color. I can't quite tell.
We'll just call it light bronze here, as Gibby looking for a big pass. Won't quite get out in front, though, for Nate Dogg, and we'll have to play it again from midfield. That's awkward for Meerkat. Nate Dogg's going to be up. Captain Killo's back, already waiting for that. Will pick up possession, but it's only as far as Gibby. First touch leaves it wanting for Meerkat. Gibby now chasing back. Nate Dogg will be under it for the Spartans. It's low off the base of the post. Captain Killa's looking for it in front, but Nate Dogg circles around. Another save for the Spartans here. They'll keep this one tied. Gibby, it's going to be loose from Gibby. Captain Killa's on the doorstep. We'll just let that roll in, and another miss for the Spartans defensively. Again, these slow balls, I think they're undoing.
And it's once again a play up top that handcuffs Gibby in particular on the back end. Not an easy spot to be in if you find yourself as one of the sort of more introductory players in the lobby, just trying to get your start in the league. It's being put under a lot of pressure to have to find the read on a challenge coming from so high up. And once again, the Jets kind of dominating in the air, doing what their namesake would suggest, and they got themselves a lead with not that much of this game left to be played now, a minute and a half or just less than that.
Two big demos by Gibby might have opened up room for Nate to get that out, but unfortunately the first touch left a lot wanting, and Meerkat will keep this in for the Spartans. A bump now by Meerkat opens it up. Captain Killas with a chance, puts it inside, and it's a 2-goal lead now for the Jets.
Great bump in the middle of the field there. Haven't seen a lot of physical play directly impact a goal or a chance on net. That's the first one that we've seen pretty majorly, barring the team bump where the Jets kind of bumped one another. I'm talking more adversarial bumps here. That's the first one where we've really seen good presence of mind to get a bump or a demo integrated. Oh, look at the chance here. Nate Dogg not quite finding the direction on the flip there. Spartans still knocking at the door, but they just can't quite find their way in.
Well, that's a good read by Gibby to just come across and sweep that one aside. You struggle to see that in other levels of play, like Academy and Champ League, where players just don't have that comfort level driving off the backboard to try and get that clear. And I think that's a big testament to a player that, for whatever salary they're on, they understand concepts in Rocket League that will serve them well. It's just a matter of timing at this point, as it's a good intercept. Nate Dogg waiting, taking, shooting, scoring, and it's a 4-3 game.
Fantastic patience here by Nate Dogg, recognizing exactly how much time they had to make that play. Rather than rushing in and risking the placement not be good, instead they took just a few frames longer to think about that and get more power on the shot. It served them very well, and the Spartans, again, trying so hard to fight their way back in. What a touch, though, defensively from Captain Killis to keep that one out, and the Jets on top.
Well, the Jets with a big chance against their goal. They get a great touch to keep it clear, and Gibby being an offensive pest now in that corner, just kind of disrupting the rotations. Nate Dogg will be looking to clean this one up as it's in, saved away by Meerkat 10 seconds ago here as the Spartans try to come back from 2 down. It's up long. Captain Killos will just try to take this one away. Falls down for the Spartans. It's still up, but nobody in bronze to get there. It will fall down. The Jets hold on. It's a 4-3 win to take a 2-0 lead.
Fantastic effort by the Spartans there down the stretch to try to tie that game up at the very end. Obviously a far closer affair than what we saw in game number 1. The question now, as we reach this stage in the series where the Jets are on series point up 2-0, can the Spartans continue to improve and continue to develop the plan that we kind of see them implementing, or does their momentum stop here and do the Jets really take control and take the win on this series in the next game?
I think the biggest adjustment for the Jets to keep their lead is just going to be making sure that their possession is clean. When they're not making mistakes, when they're not giving the Spartans opportunities to recover, they're in complete control of it. But when they're put back in their own corner and when they're not really effectively covering their defensive ground, the Spartans are doing a good job of getting Gibby in the corner, being a pest, stealing boost, bumping players, and then Nate Dogg on the doorstep just waiting for that opportunity in front of the net to take a shot on. If it wasn't for that touch by Captain Killas on that long aerial clear off the kickoff, it's probably a 4-4 game because Nate Dogg had a good read on that double.
Absolutely. That was such a small margin between having that game be tied and the Jets getting out unscathed. And if it's going to be that close between these two teams where it comes down to a play like that, that's a low percentage play. You don't make that touch every time at Foundation League. So if the Spartans can keep chipping away here and trying to generate chances like that, eventually I would imagine they're going to find their way through.
The opportunities seem to come when the Jets go for that midfield aerial control and they don't get the ball in a disadvantageous spot for the Spartans. And I think if the Spartans could just kind of hold themselves back a little bit more, let the Jets try and spend that boost and get one touch that doesn't really have a follow-up, and there's opportunity there for them. But game 3 about to get underway here as Nate Dogg against Meerkat falls favorably for the Spartans. Gibby, first touch, not quite in control, will lose it to Captain Killas. Through the Spartans' corner goes the Jets player, out for Meerkat, top of the box, 3 touches by the Spartans. It's Nate Dogg credited with the save, but early chances here for the Jets as they keep this one past midfield line. Nate Dogg feels backflip, man. Meerkat's up, no, Killas not to be found. The Spartans, 2 big chances against their cage, and with 30 seconds gone, it's still 0-0.
And once again, we see Gibby really muscling the Jets out of the position that they want to be in. Big trouble here, though, as the ball just kind of sitting on the doorstep of the Spartans with no contest from them on that double commit. And that's going to be an easy walk-in for Meerkat coming in as the trailer on that play.
Tough spot to be in for Gibby, too. No boost in the tank. I'm not sure how much the comms latency might have hurt them there as both went up at the same time. Nate Dogg had the boost in the tank to make the play, but oh no, the kickoff bounce off the near boards. And 2 quick ones now for the Jets. They've had the better, well, really all of the chances so far, and that kickoff just bouncing clean into the Spartans' net. Not a lot that they can do on that one.
Big demoralizer to really, when you just went down a goal, to have a kickoff goal scored on you immediately after that. It happens in the blink of an eye and suddenly you're down 2-0 in a game. Already they've got a small mountain to climb here and they really don't want it to get any bigger as the Jets once again putting pressure on.
Kind of wanted to touch back on the first goal as Captain Killas puts that off the bar. Meerkat can't find the touch to get that one on target. Now a chance for Nate Dogg, although it gets bumped away by Meerkat. A big back-checking play by the Jets to keep that one away from any sort of danger for the Spartans. But I kind of wanted to touch back on the first one, Thunderballs, with the decision between Gibby and Nate Dogg to go for it. You talk about players learning things from this league, and I think the one thing to take away for Gibby on that play, maybe read the backboard a little bit better, just drive on it to get that extra height.
Absolutely, and it's also a testament to how much you can learn about communication in-game in Rocket League from playing in a competitive environment like this. And I'm not sure how familiar in general Gibby is with competitive leagues and that kind of play, but that's something that in MLE has always led to really rapid improvement for the players that are at all levels of this league, is learning how the communication factors in and how it gives you a leg up on the competition when you're really on the same page as your teammate.
being able to process the information that you're collecting as well, it goes so far in terms of being able to just get ahead of the play mentally and understand what's going on. Captain Killa's on a long attempt. We'll put that one off the bar. Gibby now looking to counter attack for the Spartans, but doesn't get boost either midfield or the corner. Now Nate Dogg in a tough spot. Jets on the counter attack. Big save by Nate Dogg. Bounces out in front as Meerkat will look for top of the box. No power on the shot. Nate Dogg with another save to clear it away for the Spartans.
Really smart save, too. That was a chip off to the side. Rather than just going for power and rushing to get the ball out, Nate Dogg opted for the chip off to the side that completely avoided the attacking player coming in. It's great presence of mind at this level of play, and it keeps the Spartans having a chance in this game.
Oh, Jets in a tough spot here as Nate Dogg in transition looked for the bump and dump on the Jets net as first one past Captain Killa's. Meerkat just narrowly avoiding it. Gets a bump of their own, and Captain Killa's top of the box. 3-0 game now for the Jets.
Nothing doing with the bumps for the Spartans into the field, and meanwhile Meerkat absolutely launching that Spartans player into the back of the net. Nate Dogg almost was able to recover in time to get back for the save, but it proved to just be a little bit too much, and it proves to be a 3-goal lead for the Jets team that are already controlling this series.
Ooh, tough spot for Gibby as well off the kickoff. That high bouncing face-off that goes sealing down, kind of handcuffing the Spartans players in their own end here is Nate Dogg now will take this one out off the boards. First touch a little bit loose. Gibby double commit as well. Captain Killa is off the board to Meerkat. No power, and Nate Dogg back again. Gets a save, not out of danger. Captain Killa's up off the bar. 2 chances for the Jets. It's still 3-0. The Spartans get it cleared, but not a lot of pressure on that one. Big let-off.
Well, we talked about counterattacking being important for the Spartans, and you can see why on that play. The door wasn't completely open. The Jets did manage to kind of scramble back and not leave their net entirely open. Ooh, Gibby coming in there for a shot and not quite making it. But the counterattacking opportunity is there because the Jets can't quite find the net, and they're sending hard rebounds back the other way. Spartans just got to stay on top of the play and find a touch that's going to get you back out in the attacking zone after an overcommit like that from the Jets.
I think a lot of that coming down to Meerkat's choice of shot selection on the opportunities. A couple of just really slow, weak shots that let a well-positioned Spartan defender clear it away, although both Spartans out of boost. Gibby going to look for a flick here. Captain Killa's waiting on the goal line. I think the Spartans' opportunity is in this. When the game slows down, where the Jets get into that comfort zone of sitting back on their goal line, it gives shooting lanes to the Spartans, and if they can get that ball possession, really kind of set up their shot, I think there's chances to get back in it, but I think you and I both agree, Thunderballs, the longer this one stays fluid like this, the better chance the Jets have at getting out of it.
Absolutely. The Spartans are trying admirably to get out of the zone and to gain control enough in the attacking zone to do what they've done best in this series. It's been really bullying the defense, particularly from the role of Gibby, and Nate Dogg kind of handling the bulk of the shooting duty when the opportunity presents itself. But the door isn't open very often for that Jets defense anymore, as you can see a donut on the side of the Spartans scoreboard here getting shut out, and in even more considerable fashion now, the Jets adding one as the clock winds down to 0.
A tough spot for the Spartans there wasn't a lot of power available for Nate Dogg to try and bring that one upfield, and Gibby kind of leading that play, needing to be the safety valve instead for the Spartans on that one. And I think that's the adjustment that needs to be made. There needs to be that patience setting in for the Spartans at this point to try and set this one up. As we get to take a quick look here at the passing play between Captain Killas and Meerkat on that last one there. You don't see this a ton in Foundation League. Thunderballs is the one player getting up for that aerial touch. It sets it up really nicely for them to come down and make that play. Good accuracy on the shot as well.
Yeah, full marks to both players there. It was a difficult touch to make in a controlled fashion for the first player going in, and the shooting angle as a follow-up wasn't the easiest either. It was off to the side of the net and needed to have a little bit of care and consideration in that one, so they both did a fantastic job on that play, and it's just kind of paints a picture of how the Jets' coordination has been good enough to stem the tide of what the Spartans have been trying to develop this series.
All right, if you're going to give the Spartans a pep talk here, Thunderbolts, what do you tell them to adjust, and what do you tell them to keep doing?
I think it really comes down to just staying tight on comms, make sure you're communicating what you're doing. But the most important thing is to not let not let your mentality slide because of the game results and the series results that you've seen so far. Because we've seen tons of instances where the Spartans have shown themselves to be a smart team, a team that capitalizes on the right opportunities. And so it doesn't need to be this wild reinvention of the team for them to gain some purchase in this series. I think that they just need to remain confident in what their capabilities are on the field and just keep their chin up, basically. I mean, it feels like a bit of a sports cliche at that point, but really it rings true here. They just got to stay positive about the game plan that they've been trying to get forward and see if they can crack a little bit through here against a Jets team that, as you mentioned earlier in the series, on paper, the Spartans are really up against it here, and any momentum that they can gain whatsoever is a positive sign for them heading into the later stages of the season, if not in this match.
Well, here's the big opportunity in transition. Nate Dogg will get the first flick pass, has control of it. Captain Kill is out. Gibby a little close, can't really pick that one up with any speed, and at first bounce out of the corner, looking for Nate Dogg top of the box. It's a soft shot, saved by Kill as Nate Dogg follow-up touch, and the Spartans get on the board first here in Game 4.
What a follow-up there from Nate Dogg. First shot, great as well. That was headed into the upper 90, but Captain made a great save, and Nate just prowling there. As I said in the last game, handling the bulk of the shooting duties, and if I were Gibby, I'd be happy that that were the case. Nate, a very capable shooter. Let each player play their role. Like I said, the game plan is not really necessarily the problem here. It's just executing on it, and in the early stages of this game, they certainly have executed.
Well, it came off of a big chance for the Jets that they could have taken. Gibby looking for one on the doorstep there. Can't quite turn the ball inward, but Meerkat up very aggressively for the aerial play at the very start of the game off the kickoff. Kind of left the Jets in nobody's land trying to transition back, and I think that's a big reason the Spartans were able to get that chance. Look for more of that going forward. If the Jets feel like they have a bit too much swag in their boots on this one, the Spartans have a chance to clap back.
Trying to clap back here was Gibby, putting a shot close to target at the very least, but pushed aside by the Jets player. Jets coming back down here once again, but this is a different story than we saw in previous games in this series. It really feels like the Jets have let off in a pretty significant way here and are leaving a lot of opportunities. Another shot there having to be saved on the goal line by Captain.
The complacency, I think the biggest opponent for the Jets at this point here is trying to do a little bit too much too casually might lead them to be in dire straits, although this one in front of the Spartans net, that one easy for Nate Dogg, but it's only as far as Captain Killis. Out for Gibby. First touch will bounce this one low, looking for a second one. Captain Killis finds the seam, but it's only as far as Nate Dogg in the Spartans' corner. Nate Dogg out towards center, cut off by Meerkat. The Spartans still can't get this one quite past midfield here as the Jets not really committing too hard to trying to make these chances happen. I think they're just waiting for the Spartans to kind of drop the ball for them and not have to work as hard for it.
I would be surprised, but it almost feels as though this is a coordinated change in game plan for the Jets. It feels to me that they're pulling back and retreating a little bit here, feeling as though they have sealed the series and now they just kind of need to sit back and let it play itself out. But I mean, they're down 1-0 in game number 4 here, and they're not really putting all that much pressure on, so it's got to be more than this. The series is far from over, and the Spartans chopping at the bit to make it closer than it has been so far.
Well, if you think about it in terms of standings at this point, the Jets are now at worst 5-5 if they lose this series, but you get the idea that with the way the playoffs are structured for Foundation League, top 2 teams in each division making the playoffs, no wild cards available as there are only 16 teams in Foundation League, you'd want to try and get every win possible against a division rival like the Spartans, and Meerkat from the parking lot on the side there will get one back, but it really feels against the run of play as they've been very casual with their possession offensively.
Oh, it certainly feels that way. That goal, I wouldn't say entirely gifted to them, but still, Gibby just kind of struggling to get the right positioning on the car across the goal line to make the last second save. But if the Jets are only going to score goals like that are handed to them as shooting opportunities, it's not going to be enough as we head down the stretch here. They've got to find the level of play that they had reached, the kind of pinnacle that they were at, right around the late stages of game 1, game 2 type of area, and they got to keep their foot on the gas here against the Spartans team.
It's not just a matter of consistency either, or getting wins. It really needs to be like, if you're playing this casually against an opponent that you feel that you have an advantage over, then I think definitely need to make sure that that complacency is gone by the time you run into an opponent that should be beating you, or is at least challenging you much more than the Spartans are. And I think for all that the Spartans have been trying this game, they haven't had the ability to effectively challenge the Jets, and I think that might be part of why we're seeing this kind of lackadaisical attitude out of the Jets now that they've secured the series.
Well, that attitude about to not pay off for them all that well. Nate Dogg turning in yet another shot to tie the game. We've still got a game and a third, roughly around there, left to be played in this series, and while the Jets may have gotten their 3-0, this is far from over. And Nate Dogg, nice shooting opportunity there to bring the game level with just over a minute to play.
That's the biggest question, I think, when you're looking at the MLE schedule. Is a 500 record enough to make the playoffs? And in Foundation League, it's possible as long as the other two teams behind you in the division aren't getting those wins. If they're losing against the other division that you play through the middle 4 weeks of the season, then it's possible. But if I'm the Jets here, if I've lost 2-3 in the first week of the season, I want a 5-0 here against an opponent that we should be beating. And the fact that they haven't put this one to bed yet, I think might be a problem, especially when it comes down to crunch time. Those last 3 weeks, Thunderballs, against division opponents, that makes or breaks a season.
Oh, and I'm intimately familiar with staring down the barrel of needing a 5-0 in your final series of the season to give yourself a chance at playing in playoffs. That is not a fun position to be in, and the Jets need to have the presence of mind to know that they can prevent something like that here if they can keep winning these games. What a chance there. So close for Gibby on the goal line, just knocking it off the post there. The Spartans still doing everything they can to win this game and get a few game wins in the series. Nice challenge there again from Gibby, sending it over to Nate Dogg on the side.
Well, both players turning away from that one. I think a little bit too much respect for the Jets' ability to play off the wall from Nate Dogg, as the Jets will put this one back towards the Spartans. And then a couple of seconds left on the clock. Nate Dogg will keep it alive. It's into Jets' possession here, up by Captain Killas. Meerkat is underneath it. Both players waiting for this one to come down. It falls down. Overtime will decide it. Do the Spartans get one in this series and give Game 5 a little bit more meaning? Do the Jets close this one out? We'll see, as Golden Goal will decide it.
Gibby had the early chance there, almost found enough space to get a shot off on net. He's given another opportunity there, whiffing on it, and now Nate Dogg has to shadow on defense here. Not a great position for Nate. What a dribble from Jets, just completely destroying the axles of the defender there. Nate Dogg was not in a great spot, but regardless, Meerkat did all the right moves there to get past.
Just needed to outweight the defenders. You think back to some early 90s movies and make them make the first move when you're one-on-one with the defender. It's exactly what happens there. Meerkat gets the overtime winner, puts the Jets up 4-0 in this set of 5. And I think this one is kind of what we expected, but in a different way, Thunderballs, as the Jets kind of took their foot off the gas. The Spartans made them work for it, but with Gibby not having the same kind of consistency level as the other 3 players on the field, there's openings for the Jets, and it's just a matter of taking advantage of them.
And they did just enough in this game to do that, far less than they were doing in previous games. They got handed a couple of goals when they needed them, still had to win in overtime on a nice dribble play there from Meerkat. But I highly doubt they want the games to be that close against an opponent that, as you mentioned earlier, they feel they should be beating relatively comfortably. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Jets in Game 5 here aggress a little bit more and maybe return to the form that we saw them earlier in the series. So it could very well be that the Spartans are going to have to face a more concerted effort here than they did in the game we just saw.
I definitely want to see the Jets put this one to bed if you're a fan of the team in blue and red on the field. If you're looking for the Spartans to come back, you're willing your team, I think, to just kind of hold it together. You're cheering for Gibby to come up with that one moment of magic here to try and win a game for your team, as the players get set one last time here on Utopia for their Week 2 match. It's Gibby against Captain Killas on the kickoff. And Thunderballs, I think you and I both would be rooting for the underdogs on this one. We just want to see the Spartans take one.
Yeah, it's really a story of, obviously there are allegiances for the people that are in the franchises watching this game, but anybody without a horse in the race, I guess we'll say. Obviously just wants to see as close a series as we can muster. And because of that, I have no doubt, as you said, that they're going to be cheering for the Spartans on this one to pull one out in the tail end. And let's see if they can do it here as they're being pressured early by the Jets once again.
It's another car switch for Gibby, as it's now the Batmobile for the Spartans rookie, and it's a good touch down the right wing side, looking for a shot, won't get there, as just falls away from the long hitbox of the Batmobile into the waiting arms of the Jets. Now chance top of the box for Meerkat will just keep possession alive. Slow in the Spartans corner, a lot of boost spent there, just one touch of the ball, by the Jets. Won't find anything really happening. Captain Killa's looking for a shot, posted away as the Jets come close to opening the scoring in Game 5.
I feel as though Gibby at that point just had to sit, wait, and watch. And down the other end of the field, on one side we had the Jets, the bounce not going their way. On this side, in a very similar chance, just pixels of a difference, means the ball heads in for Gibby, and while he had to wait for that sweaty play to happen on his goal line, he makes a great one happen on the other end.
Just skimmed off the roof of the defender's hitbox and angled itself goalward. It was a great aggressive play by Gibby to line that one up, but don't discount the hitbox too. That low profile of the Batmobile opening up those awkward pinches for defenders. If you don't get that challenge angle right, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Speaking of things going wrong, Spartans with one out in front of their box, but no contact by Captain Killas will leave them still looking for a goal here. The Spartans now trying to get this one out. No boost in the tank for either player as they just line this one up. 2 cracks at the can, and the Jets still can't score. Not in a danger yet as it's up by Captain Killas and away by Nate Dogg into the waiting arms of Meerkat.
Passage of play not over yet, and now Spartans heading back down the other way. Nate Dogg might have had an opportunity there, but great presence of mind by Meerkat on the way back to demo the attacker. And the Jets, once again, pushing back into the zone. It just feels, if you were to look at the heat map of the ball spending time in zones, I don't think it was come as a surprise to anybody that it's spending the majority of the time in the Spartans' end. But when the Spartans get the ball to the Jets side of the field, in this game in particular, they are finding the net.
Mega moon flick from Nate Dogg off the goal line, clears the first defender in Meerkat. Captain Killas is up, trying to get the touch. It's a good read as well by the Spartans. A 2-goal lead, the biggest lead they've had in the series, and it comes at a great time.
3 minutes left to play here. This is really the time where we need to see the Jets find the form that they had in the early stages of this series. That is pretty irrecoverable for the Spartans at that point. Fantastic demo on the goal line. The whiff from Gibby opened up a real opportunity there, and Captain Killas smelled that opportunity and jumped on it immediately.
It's good heads-up play by the Jets to get that one. They recognize the opportunities there in the offensive corner as Gibby trying to get the touch, just doesn't make contact, and it leaves Nate Dogg completely helpless. And then Combs again breaking down between the Spartans, as that one Gibby should have called Nate Dogg off, and unfortunately for the Spartans, back the other way off the post and away by Captain Killas. Now top of the box still of the Spartans net, touch away by Nate Dogg, but not out of danger as Meerkat's lurking underneath Gibby, but enough contact by the Spartans will get that one clear for at least a couple seconds. They try to reset the rotations as the Jets take possession at midfield. Shot in by Captain Killas, just on the hop, and just like that, it's 2-2, deuces wild with 2:20 to go.
Captain Killas, nice setup touch there. Didn't pop it far forward enough to make it an easy touch, but instead it was that mid-range touch that baits in the defender when you can still play it as an attacker. That's exactly what you're asking for if you want to make a follow-up hit, and that follow-up hit was fantastic from Captain, who got a great amount of power on it and popped it over top of the defense.
Good aggressive clear by Meerkat, has it past Gibby, looking for a touch out of the shallow angle, finds its way past Nate Dogg in transition. The Jets, 3 unanswered now.
Well, I talk about it in a few series, and I'll talk about it again. I call it the alarm clock. Seems to have gone off for the Jets here, who were very quiet at the beginning of this game, but they have woken up in a big way. And Spartans, you got to push back a little bit here because the tide is heading the way of the blue here.
Gibby, I think, just needing to settle down a little bit. There's been a couple, never mind. Aggressive play, wins the chip out of midfield from downtown. Gibby makes it 3-3.
What a bomb here from the middle of the field. Gibby, smart to stay grounded there and not dive at the ball. I think they recognized that the Jets player was in trouble and having to make a quick defensive kind of retreating play on the ball and just pops it off the corner of that wheel well on the Batmobile and sends it goalward for a tie game.
The Spartans really need this win after the 0-5 last week. Just getting one win out of this game will at least give them something to go off of. Big save by Captain Killis through the smokescreen. Not out of danger as Gibby puts it in front, but with Nate Dogg out of the way, the Spartans not able to keep that pressure on. Nate Dogg early out to this one, has to get this right and does so as Meerkat's tank runs low, but it's not out of danger yet. Captain Killis through the Spartans' corner as Meerkat lurking. No contact, though, and Gibby just gets enough to get it past Meerkat. The Spartans now with a chance to clear.
Gibby, great job rushing in behind the Jets player to steal away the opportunity, recognizing that the Jets kind of lost control of it on the wall there and just took that chance right away from them. This is a tie game where defensive plays like that could end up being the difference between winning and losing, and Gibby going to be thanking his lucky stars that he was able to make that one when it was so close.
Awkward touch between the Spartans, ticked off the top of the pit box for the Batmobile of Gibby on Nate Dogg's clear, and Nate Dogg just underrunning that ball a little bit here, has to slow it down. Meerkat there, past Gibby, 2-on-0 opportunity for the Jets as Captain Killis is up, but the shot's wide into the far corner. 41 ticks of the clock left, still in the Spartans' end as they're going back-to-back, trying to find a way past here, but low boost for the Spartans. Gibby's first touch will fall to Meerkat, and now it's back the other way again for the Jets.
Gibby so often in diving for those attacking plays with minimal boost is leaving Nate Dogg stranded on the back end. And when you play with fire like that enough times, eventually you're going to get burned. And I hope for the Spartans' sake here that they can remain composed and not leave their defense entirely up to Nate Dogg and instead make it a team effort here. Dying seconds of a tie game. Are we going to see overtime? Gibby with a close chance there off the wall. Not looking like much here as it's probably going to fall off the sidewall, and we've got overtime in the final game of the series. Can the Spartans squeak one out here at the very end?
Big chance by Gibby to end it and be the overtime hero in their MLE debut, but this one, the Spartans will still look for the winner. It's Gibby, top of the box, can't get contact. It's past Nate Dogg, a bump on Meerkat might just do it for the Spartans to get back and defend. Meerkat up towards Killis, it won't get there. Killis taps it back. Where's the Spartans offense? It's low boost. Gibby looking for the 50, can't get there, and both teams big let-offs at either end to start OT.
Both teams getting out of major trouble there by the skin of their teeth. It was missed touches, accidental back passes, whiffs, you name it. There's a lot of panic on the field right now. I don't blame either team for that in overtime in a game 5, but they got to settle this down a little bit here, because if you get close to the net and there are mistakes like that being made, it's going to end your series in a pretty sour way.
Oh, even at midfield there, you've got to make sure you make contact as the Jets give the Spartans an opportunity. Nate Dogg looking for one past Meerkat at midfield, can't find it. Gibby takes the ball and the boost. High off the backboard. Captain Killis up. Gibby looking for the shot near post. Can't find it. Nate Dogg up. Can't finish the series off either. The Jets 2-on-0. Captain Killis will take it down. And the Jets complete the sweep in overtime. They take the series 5-0.
Absolute heartbreaker there for the Spartans. They had everything in position, and it just came down to a little bit of panic in the attacking zone that led to a couple of whiffs. And the Jets, unfortunately, you could see from a mile away, they were going to walk that one down the field and close themselves out with a 5-0 here. Not for lack of effort on the part of the Spartans, who right down to the very end gave this Jets team a challenge that I don't think either of us would have expected going into this series.
I feel like the last couple of cracks that the Spartans had to end this one were the ones that you just needed to clutch up and come up big. And for whatever reason it was, just a rush of blood to the head, a little bit of timing that you just don't quite have right. They didn't find a way to score on that empty Jets net, and I think looking back at that one, it's a disappointing way to end that series, to be down 0-10 to start your season this time around, but there's still 40 games left. That's a lot of Rocket League left to be played. So regardless of the outcome of the series, I think there's a lot of positives to take away from this one for the Spartans.
Absolutely. It can take a step back, maybe doing some replay analysis and a little bit of time to realize that it stings after being delivered a 5-0 and you're just finishing the series. But given a little bit of reflection, I think, as you said, the Spartans can find a lot here to build on. especially for Gibby, an admirable performance here when on paper he was severely outmatched by the other players on the field. And this can only be built upon for the Spartans team, who are getting their bearings, playing challenging teams like the Jets, and slowly trying to chip away at improvement over the course of the season.
There's plenty of things to look at, plenty of things to be excited about too. Clip your favorite plays. Make sure to send them to us on Twitter at MLE Sports GG with the hashtag MLEPOTW. Submit them for the Play of the Week, presented as always by Balls Guarana Energy Soda. Winner each week is voted by the community, getting a case shipped to them by our friends at Balls. Don't go anywhere, folks. More minor league esports on the other side of the break. The Academy League taking center stage as the Volcanic Division rivals the Tyrants and the Dodgers get set for their first matchup of the season. You're watching MLE Sports live on Twitch.tv.